we all wanted Superman 2025 to do really well, but it looks like it might have lost some money. So you can see I'm wearing the black Superman suit here for a little bit of mourning. Now, when I say all of us, I think some of us didn't necessarily want this movie to do well, and you might be happy with what I'm about to say. So, Superman 2025 had a budget of $350 million. So, that was a number that went, was given out by Forbes. It was talked about by the production company. I think a lot of people in the beginning, when I had mentioned that number, said that that was ludicrous, but I think that that's realistically what we had. So we had $225 million for the production budget and $125 million for the marketing budget. Now, overall, Superman 2025 was pretty well received by fans, but doesn't look like it's done exactly what it needs to do fiscally in terms of a good start for James Gunn's DC universe. So, Superman 2025 in North America, looking like it ended its theatrical run. Now, this is all information according to Forbes. Forbes, of course, a financial powerhouse. So if there's anybody that we want to listen to or who is going to tell us how it is, it's going to be Forbes. North America, $354 million. Worldwide, $615 million. So that sounds pretty impressive. That said, when you take into account like inflation and the rise of movie tickets, it's a little bit of it's like less impressive than, say, what Man of Steel grossed. Now the reason is, obviously tickets almost 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago really, probably about half the cost that they are today. Now, when you factor in, so $615 million, when you factor in that most of the time, if not all the time, the theater company, the movie production companies are splitting the profits with the theater owners. So this, again, comes from the Forbes website, 50-50. So if you, say, take $615 million and you round it up, say, $310 million. According to Forbes, they're looking at $308 million. But even if we were looking at $310 million, just for a nice even number, that is the number that they have net, that they have walked away with. That is a $40 million loss. That's not great. That is not a good start to DC, the DCU. It's a scary thing because to lose that much money doesn't really inspire a lot of hope, no pun intended. But, I mean, yes, so it's ended its theatrical run, but that's not to say that it won't recoup some of this money. And there's still the merchandising, there's still the streaming, on demand, all that stuff, royalties and everything that are going to come into play. But you really want to be in a better position when you leave the theaters that you don't need to rely on all of that. Now, I don't know what this means for the future of the DC universe. James Gunn hasn't said that I think James Gunn has been in a bit of denial. I think I have too. I thought that this movie was going to make a lot more money than it actually did. And now that we're actually looking at the numbers, I am a bit wrong. What are your thoughts? What did you think? Did you think this movie was going to make a lot more money? Comment down below. I'd love to hear it. Love to hear your thoughts on what you think this means for the future of the DC universe. I don't think that it necessarily means it's not going to go ahead. I don't necessarily think that... I mean, we haven't heard anything that it's not going to go ahead, which is good. But I do think that this is the scary thing about what happens with superhero movies, right? You have this, you start it out, and then all of a sudden, if it peters out too quickly, then the studios, they start pulling the money, and you ended up with something like Superman 4, where you have a movie that is on half of the budget that you expected, and then it's not good, and it just destroys the franchise. Now, of course, Superman 1, 2, 3, 4, we at least had 4 movies, and I'm not going to lie, I like Superman 4. Come at me, I don't care. Whatever. What do you think? What do you think of Superman 4? I'd love to know. Who is your Superman, by the way? Are you a David Cornsweat, Henry Cavill, Christopher Reeve, Dean Cain? Tom Welling doesn't really count, but we'll give it to him because he did digitally suit up. Tyler Hoechlin, bunch of people out there. George Reeves, Kirk Allen. Who's your Superman? But yeah, so I'm a bit worried because $615 million is a lot of money, but when you're only getting to keep half of that and it's $40 million under your budget, that poses a problem because where does that money come from? It comes from the future of the DCU. It comes from future productions. It comes from other productions. Will this affect Supergirl 2026? Who knows? It's just kind of a scary time. So we haven't heard much from James Gunn regarding this, but it's going to be really, really interesting to see where this goes from here. I I really loved the movie, and I know that there's a lot of you that didn't. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. There are a lot of you that didn't love this movie. There are a lot of you that did. There are a lot of you that believe David Cornsweet is the new Superman. I think that there's a lot of potential there, but the problem is I thought that there was a lot of potential with Henry Cavill as well. And he just didn't get the chance that he was meant to get because of so many different factors. And I think, unfortunately, if this is the case, this $40 million loss is the case, it's scary to think that we might be moving in that direction again. But that's where we're at. Now look, I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about that. If you did like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, ding ding. Please give me a hype. So if you like this video on your mobile, or I think you can do it on the app, on the TV as well. Once you like it, there's a hype button. Make sure you press that as well because it really helps me get my videos out. Be sure if you are thinking about becoming a member, do it. Just do it. You get access to things that I haven't shown to the public, suit reviews, costume reviews, bloopers that haven't seen the public eye, or the public eye hasn't seen them. But that's about it. Really, really, really would love to hear your thoughts on this. And as always, I'm very excited to talk with you in the community. So make sure you follow me at Superfit Cosplay on Instagram and TikTok, and I will catch you next time.